please remain standing as you're able for the reading of the gospel. Today's gospel is from John 10, verses 1 through 10. Jesus tells the disciples the parable of the Good Shepherd. Truly, truly, I say to you, anyone who does not enter the sheepfold by the door, but climbs in by another way, is a thief and a robber. But the one who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To this one the gatekeeper opens. The sheep hear the voice of the shepherd, who calls them by name and leads them out. And after bringing all of them out, the shepherd goes before them, and the sheep follow, for they know the shepherd's voice. A stranger they will not follow, but they will flee away, for they do not know the voice of strangers. This figure Jesus used with the disciples, but they did not understand what he was saying to them. So Jesus said again, truly, truly, I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not heed them. I am the door. Whoever enters by me will be saved, and will go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they might have life, and have it abundantly. May God add understanding to this reading of the gospel.
Please be seated. God, I thank you that once again you've allowed me to be your instrument. I ask that you anoint my heart, anoint my lips. Let whatever I say be the words that you would have me speak this morning and not my own. Anoint the ears of those who would hear this message today, that they would hear the exact words that you need for them to hear on their faith journey where they are right now. Amen. The gospel lesson from John this morning, relating the story of the Good Shepherd, such a comforting passage for many. It brings to mind the pictures of Jesus carrying the little lamb to safety. It gives us a warm, fuzzy feeling to think that Jesus is our protector and our safeguard. For some, it tells us that our pastors are the good shepherds. Our pastors are the ones to protect, shield, and feed us all the days of our faith journey. But just as in the day that this scripture was written, the meaning of shepherd is vastly different, depending on your geographic location, your beliefs, even your concept of the job of the Good Shepherd. The story was actually one that was very difficult for the followers of the time to understand. Some saw the shepherd as a gentle, nurturing person. Some looked at the tools of the shepherd as somewhat medieval and harsh. And some saw the shepherd as nothing more than a hired hand that did the job for his own security and future. That is why at the end of the gospel reading for today, the verses of John 10, 7 through 10, Jesus is reported to have changed the narrative. No longer focusing on the job of the shepherd, but on the job of the person of Jesus Christ. I also think that this is an appropriate description of what we, the church, as a whole should be. From John 10, 7 through 10, so Jesus said again, truly, truly, I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not heed them. I am the door. Whoever enters by my will be saved, and will go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. The Jews did not understand the meaning of the story of the Good Shepherd, so Jesus plainly and without concealment applied it to himself. He began by saying, I am the door. In this parable, Jesus is talking about the way the sheep would have been cared for at that time. There were two different types of folds of sheep. One that would come into a barn-type structure that had a door, and the door would be secured with a key, and that key was handled by only one person to ensure the safety of the sheep. This was a communal barn, if you will, a place where sheep from many farmers would be housed for safety and security, much like a church building today. The other was a fold of sheep that perhaps may not come into the communal barn. They would sleep in the pastures, open for coming and going. It did have a barrier around it. Most of that was just to prevent them from wandering in to all the different directions. However, it had no door. In this case, the shepherd would lay on the ground between two posts, and for the sheep to come and go, they had to enter over or pass over Jesus. That is what Jesus was thinking when he said, I am the door. Through him, said Paul, we have access to the parent in heaven. Jesus opens the way to God. Until Jesus came, people could think of God only as, at best, a stranger, and at worst, and more commonly, an enemy. But Jesus came to show people what God is like and to open the way to God. Jesus is the door through whom alone entrance to God becomes possible for people. To describe something of what that entrance to God means, Jesus uses a well-known Hebrew phrase. He says that through him we come and go in and out. To be able to come and go unmolested was the Jewish way of describing a life that is absolutely secure and safe. When a person can go in and out without fear, it means that the country is at peace, that the forces of law and order are supreme, and that they enjoy perfect security. Of the person that is obedient to God, it is said that they are blessed when they come in and blessed when they go out. A child is one who is not yet able by themselves to go out and to come in. The psalmist is certain that God will keep them and their going and their coming in. Once a person discovers through Jesus Christ what God is like, a new sense of safety and security enters into their life. If life is known to be in the hands of a God like that, the worries and the fears are gone. Jesus said, those who came before, many had come before, that were insurrectionists. They believed that people would have to wade through blood to the golden age. He speaks of men like the zealots, who did not mind slaughtering their own loved ones if their hopes of conquest could be achieved. Jesus is saying, there have been people who claimed that they were leaders sent to you from God. They believed in war, murder, and assassination. Their way only leads forever, further and further away from God. And no, I'm not headed into a political speech about the last presidential race, although I could be. I have no problem. Jesus says, my way is the way of peace and love and life. And if you only take it, it leads ever closer and closer to God. There have been, and still are, those who believe that the golden age must be brought in with violence, class warfare, bitterness and destruction, intimidation, fear and hatred. It is the message of Jesus that the only way that leads to God in heaven and to the golden age on earth is the way of love. Jesus claims that he came that people might have life and might have it abundantly. The Greek phrase used for having it more abundantly means to have a superabundance of a thing. To be a follower of Jesus, to know who Jesus is and what Jesus means, is to have a superabundance of life. It is said that a Roman soldier came to Julius Caesar with a request for permission to commit suicide. He was a wretched, dispirited creature with no vitality. Caesar looked at him. "Man," he said, "were you ever really alive? When we try to live our own lives, life is a dull, dispirited thing. When we walk with Jesus, there comes a new vitality, a superabundance of life." Have you ever been around people that just sit there and you look at them and, my God, you just get depressed looking at them? They might be with God, and that's okay. But if all you can see is the lack of vitality, the dispirited person that's sitting there, there's something missing in us. Cheryl sent an article this week to us talking about being a church that's outside of here. I shared with her something kind of funny this morning that in a book I bought a few months ago called The Grasshopper Myth, there's a whole chapter in there about this church out of Waxahachie, where they talk about going out and being a part of the church that's out there, not just in here. If you go out to lunch and you sit there and you bemoan and carry on and have horrible experience with a waiter or a waitress, and then everybody turns around and looks at you and you say, "What? Get over it. Live life abundantly, people." Several years ago, we were at a district conference, and I was given the honor and the privilege of speaking our opening worship service in Kansas City. Our worship group was going to be too big for any banquet hall that we had. So we rented a church just across the street. We only got to see the building about an hour before the worship service, and at that time it was only the preacher, the main musician, and I think the district committee got to go in. And there were notes all over. No water on the stage. Don't step here. Don't do this. Don't do that. I thought, oh, what an awful place. And I got up and I gave my sermon on superabundance. Having life abundantly. And I talked about when we sit as a faith community, as MCCs at that time, in a board of directors meeting and everybody's arguing over, we can't buy that kind of toilet paper, it costs too much. But this kind of toilet paper bothers me. We can't have that in our kitchen because it might be bothersome. Somebody could have a problem with it. That's not living life abundantly. That's living life bitchy. Get on with it and accept Jesus Christ and walk through that door of Jesus Christ, coming and going in the abundance with the graceful life that you've been given. When we walk with Jesus, there comes a new vitality, a superabundance of life. It is only when we live with Christ that life becomes really worth living, and we begin to live in the real sense of the world. We must make this choice for ourselves each and every day if we want a new day each and every day. The past has been done. Let's choose a new day. Each time we're given the privilege of getting out of bed and going forward. Amen.